Alright, so Star, he's gonna be on in a bit. I just thought I'd start up early. Make sure everything is viewable. It's gonna look real ghetto, but you know. Yeah, it's not bad. Probably should be using this configuration. It looked really weird. I'm probably just gonna put it in full screen. I don't know. You know, I should actually get Streamlabs working, but I don't know how to do it. Like every time I try to have like the text appear on the screen, it just won't come up. It's really weird. What to do? What to do? Guess I could do some nat waves. Oh, I can do this sortie. Hmm. Hopefully I don't get too much slowdown. Cause I got some stuff open that I should have closed. It should be fine. Alright, well, Star should be on any moment. Okay, here we go. There we go.
Hello? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Alright,
Okay.
adjusting the sound.
Let me see here. Let me go over to your channel so I can look at the chat as it's going.
Oh, okay. I guess we just do this.
It's funny how when I put your channel into the YouTube search bar, the first thing I find actually isn't your YouTube channel. It's a guy called Nitwit's World who has a playlist of all of your whatever happened to videos.
Oh, I've heard of that guy. Yeah, he used to comment on some of my older videos. I don't know what happened to him. I don't know, I guess
Hmm.
it's
See?
just like many of the other people who find my channel, they just kind of leave after a while.
Yeah, it seems like I'm like the only guy basically who's stayed around this whole time. I don't comment as much as I used to though, but that's generally because I don't tend to comment on videos.
Yeah, same here. It's fine. I appreciate you putting up with my nonsense.
I mean, I appreciate you putting up with my nonsense. At this point, my YouTube channel is basically just an elongated mental breakdown, where everyone who's on the ride is waiting for the moment in which I finally come to Jesus.
Well, hopefully that happens sooner rather than later, you know.
Yeah, yeah, it's interesting. It's interesting that I bring that up because I was mentioning to a family member of mine in the car today, like I'm considering as to whether I should just start like going to a local church that we have just to see what it's like and get a better understanding of the Christian faith. I think it would be a good way for me to learn more social skills because my social skills with normies are pretty lacking. I don't know if I make that obvious or not. Uh,
I mean,
but
you do a lot better than I do, and I'm a freaking grown ass adult.
thank you. But I wanna try and start attending a local church. Maybe not like, convert to Christianity per se. Maybe I will. I don't know. But I wanna start attending just to see what it's all about and to learn more because the more that I learn about like the history of Christianity, it's so cool because like the image we get on television is kind of like evangelicals like listening to rock and roll and crying a whole bunch and it feels weird to me like they all love that book She Said Yes. I don't know if you've heard of that book or not, but it's basically this girl who like she got killed and they made that she got killed because she said yes to the question, did she believe in God, or was she like a follower of Jesus, and they had an audio recording that said otherwise, that like that wasn't what had happened, but they wrote this entire book that like she said yes to Jesus and that's why she was killed.
Oh, I
And like
remember
it's
that.
like stuff like that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I've
it's
heard of
stuff
it.
like that we get in the USA, that's our perception of Christianity. But like when you look at the history, like Jesus was like this hero of normal people in the Roman Empire at the time, where like the Roman Empire was this horribly oppressive regime that like killed babies for being disabled, or if like you had a kid and you couldn't afford to feed it, they just killed it right away.
Hmm.
Um, it was like this really horrendous, autocratic kind of survival of the fittest, the best of the best rule society and this kind of stuff. And then you had like Jesus, where he was coming around preaching like, no, let's help each other, let's be friends and help the poor and take care of the disabled and stuff. He was like this hero of normal people. And so like when I get that message from the New Testament, and I see how much of an inspiring message he had, like you can't help but feel at least a little bit of something when you see it, just because like you look at like how horribly oppressive the Roman Empire was and how this figure appeared, that ended up providing a message of optimism to the people. It's really inspiring. So I kind of want to attend a church again just because I haven't attended one for more than a decade at this point. And I wanna see what it's all about.
Well, it's great that you have an open mind. It's better than a lot of people nowadays. They're really closed off about that. And even with me, I don't really go to church as much as I should. Um, Mainly for social reasons. I don't know. I'm kind of a loner, and I
Yeah,
don't really
me
like
too.
talking with people. But I really should go more. There was this one that's kind of nearby. It seems pretty decent. They're kind of like those modern churches, the ones that have like guitars and drums instead of like the traditional choir. I don't really like that, but I don't know. I don't hate it. It's just that a lot of the music kind of just sounds the same. It doesn't really feel as impactful. But I enjoyed some of the sermons from the preacher there.
Yeah, I always looked up to preachers just because they're very charismatic people. Like, if they're good enough at what they do, they can really make you feel something. Like, they have the ability to, just through talking, just through being themselves and preaching the word of the Lord, they're able to excite you. I've seen some people be brought to tears from sermons that were going on, and not in the kind of like overly commodified evangelical, oh, let's show up on television and let's cry in front of TV or anything, like genuine, coming to Jesus kind of moments, that I've seen at least briefly, from what I can remember. So I have a great amount of respect for preachers because of that ability that they have to get a rise out of people in the most positive sense. They have the ability to just lift the air of the room in a way that I can't quite describe.
Yeah, me too. And I don't know. I actually thought that I could not really be a preacher, but just talk to people more about Jesus and try to do that either in like online or more, I guess, IRL presence, like just talking to people. Like I don't know how I would be able to go about it.
I mean, there's always a beginning for everything. I mean, like, your voice is really monotone, so you'd probably need a lot of practicing. But I
Yeah.
could see like a monotone appeal for a preacher if what you were saying was impactful enough. It kind of depends on the audience and how much you're willing to practice at it, but I can tell the passion is definitely there.
Yes, it's just I don't really have the all the proper tools because I'm not really the best speaker, but neither was Moses, so I guess
Mhm.
I guess there's hope for me.
Also, I'm going to transfer onto my computer now, so I'll be right back.
Okay. All right.
Okay, we're back.
Yeah.
All right. Oh boy.
I'm just kind of
Um,
messing around on Warframe. Out, freaking boss.
you play this game a lot.
I do. I don't know why. I mean, I think I know why because this just the freedom and movement you have. It's really fun. If this game came out in like the early 2000s when I was a kid, I would have just loved it.
It's sort of like what I used to do with CS:GO, where I mean, I didn't play CS:GO nearly as much as you played Warframe, but I would just sit there for like hours playing the game, just because like there's certain feeling that a game has where you can't put it down. I guess a better example of this for me at least would be, and this game isn't like a sandbox game or a MOPA or anything like that, or
Mm-mm.
a MOBA, I should say.
MOBA, yeah.
Um, yeah. But it was SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom. I've played that game so many times. I've gotten basically almost all the golden spatulas in the game. But it's like, to me, that's like my favorite. That is my favorite 3D platformer ever. Um, like, I think it's actually better than Mario 64, which a lot of people would say is blasphemy.
Uh-huh.
Off with this man's head. But I think it's a great game. And so I've played that game more than like most other video games. I think I've probably done the same thing with Psychonauts. I've just played it over and over and over again, and Fallout New Vegas. And I don't know why, because Fallout New Vegas doesn't even have that many endings. Like I've gotten all the endings in the game, but I just kept playing it again and again because I liked the world so much. Where even just walking around in the world and seeing things interact with one another was really cool to me, where I basically have a tradition where I replay through the game each year. And since it's going to be 2020 soon, I'm probably going to replay it again as well.
That's cool because I've actually never played that game. I've heard a lot of good things about it, even though it kind of came out right at the time where I was like really into SpongeBob. But for some reason, I never got it.
Oh, you really should. I believe they're making a remastered version of
Yeah,
it now on Switch.
so I'll definitely have to get it when that comes out. Because I played a few of the
Mm.
SpongeBob games, mainly the one for the Game Boy Color, which is not good. Don't play it. I mean, it has a charm to it. It's just kind of cryptic, and if you like old school like NES games, you'll probably enjoy it.
Yeah, I played through a little bit of it on an emulator, and I thought it was okay. I kind of want to own a copy just because the novelty of it. Like, I want to own all the SpongeBob games because SpongeBob is my favorite cartoon,
Hmm.
other than, weirdly enough, BoJack Horseman, which those two shows are in completely different worlds. But
Yeah.
uh, but it's so because I like the show so much because it was such a essential part of my life. I want to own all of the SpongeBob games. And there was a time when I was like really, really depressed, and I would play SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom, and it would lift my spirits. And so I kind of owe, and I did the same thing with the SpongeBob movie game. Like that, the SpongeBob movie game you would not think is good, but it was made by Heavy Iron Studios, which made Bikini Bottom or Battle for Bikini Bottom. And so it has basically like the same mechanics that Battle for Bikini Bottom had, albeit with some structural elements changed, like they changed the way that the menus are and stuff like that, little things. And there's like extra levels, obviously scenes from the movie itself. Um, but it's really well done. Like it actually adds a little bit more story content onto the film, which I appreciated at the time as someone who liked the movie a lot. And so that game, like people really are sleeping on the SpongeBob movie game. Like for a movie tie-in game, I would argue that it is in the top five, maybe top three.
Yeah, because there's not a lot of good movie tie-in games. I think there was this one for it was like for the Incredible Hulk movie, or I think it was just for the Incredible Hulk. It was actually really good. It was called Incredible Hulk Instruct or Destruction. It was kind of like this kind of sandbox roaming game. You can just like run around as the Hulk and just destroy everything and everyone.
I've wanted to play that one for quite some time. I always saw
It's
it
pretty
on
good.
like on the GameCube and in stores back when stores still sold GameCube games, and
Uh,
I always thought it looked fun. But I never picked it up. So that's gonna be one of those ones. Maybe I'll make it games I have to play for 2020. Mm.
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that I've just missed out on for one reason or another.
Me too. Like it's weird because I was trying to calculate this not too long ago was I was thinking, with all of the games that are coming out now and all the hype that are surrounding them, how many games could you theoretically play in your backlog? And I tried to use this Strugen's Law thing
Hmm.
where they said it's like 90% of everything is bad or something like that. And I tried to think like, okay, so let's say there are like 1,000 PS2 games, and 90% of those are bad. Well, you still got 100 games, you know? And so, like, imagine, let's say, for instance, each of those games is 6 hours. And I mean, counting RPGs, like, they're definitely not going to be 6 hours, but that's
Hmm.
just like that's a basic assessment there. And you go, 6 times 100, that's 600 hours. You got 600 hours of gameplay right there on one console, and you can just keep going down the list like that. where and this is with like extremely like moderate averages. These aren't even like the true numbers. These are just like the most basic numbers you could possibly give, giving as much credence to the idea that they could be shorter as possible, and you still have a whole bunch of time that you could amass with that console. And it's not accounting for all the little games that you might like that don't apply to this weird Sturgeon's Law principle. So there's a lot of stuff, you know, on that one console alone. And you can keep going down the list with all the consoles, and it's like there's so many things you could potentially enjoy that the idea for me at least of keeping up with every new game release is kind of silly because my backlog is so huge that I feel like I could never get out of my backlog, you know?
Yeah, I feel like that every day. I just look at all these games in my GOG or my Steam, and it's like I haven't touched half of these. Well, not half of these, but like a large portion of them have just gone unplayed.
Mm. Yeah, I still have I still have some NES games sitting in my sitting in a tote on my floor there that I never finished. And I'm one of those people who likes to finish NES games. Maybe that's a masochist attitude, I don't know. But I like getting all the way to the end with these old games. But it's really hard because oftentimes they only give you 3 lives.
Yeah. To be honest, I never really grew up with the NES. I mean, I had one, but it was mainly my brother's. I was more of an SNES kid.
Hmm.
And those games were hard, but they were a little bit more lenient, especially like later, I guess in its lifetime, where they weren't really going by the whole arcade principle that a lot of
Yeah.
NES games did.
I think I was about 8 years old when I got my Sega Genesis, and it was way harder than the stuff that I was used to, like playing GameCube or Nintendo 64 or Dreamcast or whatever,
Hmm.
or 360 later on. But it felt kind of like training wheels for getting into the NES, because I got an NES much later. I think was I 11? I don't remember. But it playing Sega Genesis games for me as someone who like didn't grow up with those games felt kind of like the intro to getting into old games. It felt like it was in the perfect middle ground between easy enough for people to get it and being too hard. Maybe the SNES was the same way. To be honest, I have not played very many Super Nintendo games at all. That's one of those big Goliaths that I have to conquer.
Hmm. Yeah, the funny thing is about that, after playing so many new games that I've just become used to just like all their modern mechanics, and so it's kind of hard to play older games.
Hmm. I think I've perpetually made myself used to playing old games because when I pick them up now, like I'm rusty, I'm not nearly as good at them as I used to be when I would play them constantly, but I don't feel like a disconnect with them just because I've been so obsessed with them. Like I used to catalog every single shmup that I thought I would be interested in, like every single shmup that had like a cool cover or had a cool art style in the game. And I would just like I would make catalogs of them, like entire charts of shmups, like really, really autistic, strange things like that. Because I was so obsessed with old video games, and I couldn't relate to anybody at school because I was the only one who liked doing that when I came home.
Yeah, it's good to have passions, even if they're just like odd.
Mm. Yeah, these days I'm not so ashamed of it, whereas before I didn't want anybody to know that I liked old video games because I thought I was gonna get lynched or ousted or whatever. Um, but these days I feel pretty good about hobbies. I think that's kind of like the nerd ideal. Like the nerd ideal is just to be proud of the stuff that you like.
Yeah, at this point, I don't really care if other people don't like the same things that I like or not into whatever hobbies I'm into.
Mm. Mm.
Because I have a lot
It
of
was.
unpopular gaming opinions. Like, I'm one of those guys who likes Sonic Adventure, even though it's
Oh,
not
me
that good a
too.
game. And I've just kind of,
I think it's a
you know,
great game.
it. I don't know. It has this whimsy to it that I feel like a lot of the newer Sonic games don't have. Maybe that's just my nostalgia talking. Oh, there it is.
I mean, it was the first video game that I ever played,
Oh,
so
really?
maybe I have too much nostalgia too. Yeah, it was there were three games that I played when I was like 2 years old to 3 years old. Was Sonic Adventure, Seaman, and Worms. It was either Worms Armageddon or Worms World Party. It was one of those two. Um, and I was like 2 years old. I can barely remember this anymore. I basically can't remember it. I used to be able to remember it better, but so a lot of this is secondhand information from the family around me because I'd play it with them.
Hmm.
Um, but yeah, I Sonic Adventure, first game, first video game I ever played. I can still like faintly like kind of remember seeing like the blue water segment on that CRT TV that was in my brother's room at the time, and just like sitting on the floor being like this small little kid, like, and the light wasn't on, so the room was kind of dark. Like I can still kind of picture where everything was. It's really hard, but it's in there. And like from what I've described, like my family have basically the same recollection, so I know it happened. And it's really strange that like that's the earliest memory I have is of playing video games.
To be honest, it's not the worst game to start playing. I think people just like to hop
Yeah.
on these bandwagons when it comes to hating things, even if they're not that bad.
Mm. Yeah, I mean, YouTube culture, I mean, you've kind of made your whole channel be about talking about these old reviewers who hated everything. So it's kind of like the YouTube culture is still there of people wanting to hate stuff. Like negativity sells.
Yeah, and it's never really died either. It's just kind of evolved into like this weird, kind of hyper cynical, hyper analytical way of doing things. Like it's not really angry reviewers now. Like, you have these guys like I hate everything and your movie sucks. Those kind of guys. They're more just kind of just grumpy, cynical. It's just
Hmm.
kind of this
Yeah.
weird evolution of that style, the angry reviewer style.
Yeah, because people like the negativity part of it, but after the angry reviewer stuff, like the gimmick of being mad at something wore out, people evolved it into, okay, I'm going to analyze the thing that I'm
Mm-hmm.
mad and being negative about, and maybe I'll be like super dry, like YMS, your movie sucks. He has super dry sense of humor, but he just goes through every single scene of the movie and critiques it because he hates the movie. And it feels almost like you're watching the movie with him or something. Um, and so you have like the old guard still kind of there, like Nostalgia Critic. He does the whole angry movie thing, kind of similar to what James Rolfe was doing, but he does like all of the skits still, and still has the gimmick that where they basically feel like short films now instead of actual reviews. Even though what everyone comes to him for is his review segments, but whatever. Um, and then you have like the people who make like drama about new stuff that's coming out where they're not actually that mad about the stuff that's coming out, but they just kind of say, "Whoa, dude, look at Tifa's ass in this brand new version of Final Fantasy. Whoa, dude, whoa, I am so angry. They got this one pixel wrong or something." Like that's how it feels now, where they're still mad. They're still using negativity for views, but it's just they're doing it in a different way.
It's very manufactured. A lot of it
Hmm.
kind of feels like it is, but I don't know.
Yeah, like like people like I Hate Everything and YMS still feel genuine,
Hmm.
but the people who copy them don't. That's the thing, is that they want to be like them because they see a successful formula. And I mean, that happens with everything. Like, I'm sure if I got popular enough on YouTube, there would be Star ripoffs running around everywhere, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, fads never
Can you
truly die.
imagine that?
Oh no, I can't.
That would be so bad. DZ Dog ripoffs.
Of all the people to rip off, why would you bother ripping off me? I'm probably the least charismatic person you could ever talk to. My editing's not
You
that great.
forced my hand.
Oh no.
Oh no? Is it working?
Oh no, I was just saying, oh no, you forced my hand. I was responding to your little comment.
Yes, my meme. This is very professional production here. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It's maybe because of this live stream, you may or may not see a random video called "Whatever Happened to DZ Dog." I mean, you know, maybe not. Who knows? I'm not implying anything here. Definitely not implying anything. No implications coming from me.
Well, I haven't physically left, but I feel like my spirit has kind of just been out of it when it comes to just creating things on YouTube now.
You have ascended.
Yes, God has called me back home.
I'm actually gonna write this video idea down, by the way. I'm gonna try to copy your editing set. Can you send me like the graphics that you use in your videos?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. I hope this is actually funny. I'm gonna try to copy the way that you talk.
That's fair. I'm basically like Nitro Red, but he's able to do his monotone. I don't know. He's able to actually have charm to it. I don't know how to describe it. Like I kind of talk like him, but not really. I don't know.
Hmm, I can see that. I like Nitro Red. He's fun.
Yeah. So I was
He's one
actually
of the
going to do a
YouTubers
Nitro.
that I'm.
Oh, go ahead.
He's one of the YouTubers that I'm glad got popular.
Yeah, me too. I feel like he's kind of the I don't want to say the next step in like game reviewing, but I feel like his style is kind of perfect in my opinion. Like it's not too analytical or too like scathing, but it's also not just kind of milk toast and oh I like this game, it's really cool. It's the perfect amount. It's the perfect blend of snarkiness and just fun.
I still really like Stop Skeletons from Fighting. Do you
Yeah, me
still
too.
watch his videos?
Yeah, I haven't watched any of his newer stuff, but like the last couple of months, I've been watching his videos.
He's really evolved over time. Like he went from being the happy video game nerd to now, you know, talking about all of these weird peripherals and like
Hmm.
these games that I always thought were really cool that like push the limits of hardware. He's the only one making a series about them. Where like for the longest time I wanted to do something like Punching Weight, where just talking about games that were like hardware, you know, that accelerated the hardware so far that they produced these amazing results. But I never had the technical knowledge to, and I thought it would be boring if I did it. So I never ended up doing it, but that was an obsession I had for so long. Like I bought the Game Boy Color version of Dragon's Lair
Hmm.
like several years ago just because I thought it was so cool that it existed on a handheld. Um, and so the fact that he does that series makes him one of the best YouTubers just because of that. But also, like his production value and his editing, there's something about it. Like his videos just feel so well researched. He's kind of like a second gaming historian in a way.
Yeah, he kind of is. Another great channel that I think is just perfect. even though I know it doesn't really exist when it comes to, I guess, content.
I agree. I've watched Gaming Historian for so long. He was one of the first YouTubers I watched actually, because I would get his videos recommended on Angry Video Game Nerd videos.
I'm trying to think when I first started watching. It was probably like a couple of years ago. Like, I want to say 2017.
Oh wow, so I watched him earlier than you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, I started watching in like 2014.
Huh.
It was yeah, it was pretty well, that wouldn't have been one of the first I watched. That was when I was getting really into YouTube. So I got onto YouTube in like 2011, and that
Mm-hmm.
was because of Classic Game Room.
Mm-hmm.
And then I started getting really into AVGN in 2013. And then I started watching other folks since then, like 2014 and so on. And so, like, when I started my YouTube channel that I currently have now in February of 2015, I was like really, really obsessed with all of the retro gaming YouTubers. Like, I watched all of them almost.
Yeah, and I remember actually watching a lot of those earlier review channels grow and change and develop. Like, I remember when James Rolfe was still called the Angry Nintendo Nerd. So,
Oh, wow.
yeah, I'm peak boomer right here.
DZ Dog is peak boomer, almost 30.
Yeah, I'm almost 30. I used to be really, not really depressed about it, but I was like, oh man, I'm gonna be 30. But now I kind of, I'm excited about it. This is a new chapter in my life.
I think that's a good way to think about things. I kind of like the idea of getting older because you get to see how you change
Mm-hmm.
and you get to see how your views on the world change. Like, you get more wisdom and you learn more things. And so it can be interesting to watch progression happen.
Yeah, because I've always felt like I've never really aged or like grew up, and I'm not sure how to put that if it's good or bad. Because I feel like I've made a lot of the same mistakes over and over again, and hopefully I'll be able to change that, in the next couple of years.
There's always time to change. Like, I've made a lot of the same mistakes too, and I'm still trying to learn how to fix them. It's just always a process. Like, I think people kind of undervalue forgiveness
Yes,
because
definitely. Especially
in
nowadays
the
on the
world,
internet.
yeah, in the world we live in, where it's kind of like, I mean, we've always had some kind of cancel culture, except cancel culture before used to just be like public shaming, like you throw tomatoes at somebody or
Mm-hmm.
something.
Put them in the stockade or whatever.
Yeah. But I don't know, it's now like people have so little understanding when it comes to other people's problems that the idea of forgiving people seems almost kind of foreign. And I can understand like I don't think people should expect to be forgiven at all because it's at the end of the day it's a person's personal choice on the
Yeah.
other end. But I think like you forgiving other people personally is really important because if you keep the hatred inside for so long, it's just going to eat away at you. Like, it just hurts over time. And also, people like, I think if you tell someone that you're never going to change and you're just a bad guy, then they might not change because they won't believe in themselves, you know? I think a better exit would be to say, hey, I'm not talking to you anymore because you keep doing these toxic behaviors, but I know you can change and I believe you will one day. So good luck, and, it was nice being friends with you. I think that's a better way to end things. But it's like so many times when people end friendships, they just say really terrible things and then, cut ties with somebody. Like, cutting ties is perfectly reasonable if you want to do it just to protect yourself, but doing so in a negative way that, causes mental harm potentially to someone else, I think is a really, really dangerous thing. Forgiveness is very important, in my opinion.
I agree. I actually was thinking of making a video about that, like internet redemption arcs or something like that, but I didn't really know how to frame it.
Mm.
But
I
I
mean,
guess that pretty
look
much
at what
sums
they
up
did to
what.
Pro Jared.
Oh yeah, they did him dirty. I mean, understandably so, because he was like, sending nudes to his minor fans, his younger audience, and that was messed
Mm.
up. But he seemed like he was willing to try to make a fresh start, and
Mm.
the same thing kind of with JonTron when he got kind of mixed up in, I guess, like a more far right mindset, and then people just tore into him, started calling him a Nazi. But nowadays they're starting to warm up to him again, and he's kind of changed basically everything about his person, not personality, but how he portrays himself.
Mm. Yeah, like I still hear people like on the left say that, or just on like the liberal left or whatever you want to call it, say that JonTron is a far right Nazi. Like they use the word Nazi,
Yeah,
and
unironically.
I yeah, I don't really think it's fair. Like he's not, because Nazism, I don't think people realize this, but Nazism is its own distinct ideology. Like you have fascism, and fascism is one ideology, but Nazism is a distinct.
But Star,
Um,
how do I insult all the people I don't like? I can't be reasonable and just learn to disagree or agree to disagree. I need to dehumanize them. I need to call them the most evil thing I can think of.
yeah, how could I forget? um,
We live in a really
it,
vindictive culture. It's really disgusting.
it is very gross, and I try to do my best not to participate in it. Like I have a friend whose name will not be named, but they made a video. They made a video about this person who I had drama with at one point. Um, and they asked me if they wanted to release it or not. And he said some pretty mean things in the video. And I don't really like public shaming as a whole, but he said some pretty mean things. And I told him not to release it, even though like I think a lot of the stuff he said was true in the video. I told him not to release it just because I don't want the things that that person did, however long ago, to define them forever. And I didn't want them to feel like they couldn't change, so I told him not to release the video. And thankfully he didn't. Um, but like it goes to show that there are all these like little choices that we can make where like we can't change the world, but if we change ourselves, then that changes the world a little bit. And I think that's inspiring.
Exactly. That's kind of why I don't really like doing a lot of these videos where I talk about older internet personalities, because I feel like I'm just delving too deeply into their personal business. Like with that whole Gex Up
Mm,
thing, and that Skype call he got in with that one guy. Uh,
mm,
but I occasionally like to still probe into it because I'm actually gonna do another video.
mm.
I'm also gonna do that 3x3, whatever it's called. Uh,
Yeah, 3x3 of YouTubers.
well, I was actually gonna do one on movies because didn't you mention something about wanting to see something like that?
Oh yeah, I forgot.
Yeah, so I'll definitely do that. I don't know, maybe I'll do one for YouTubers as well. I already
Mm.
kind of did something similar to that with the tier list.
Yeah, those videos were fun. I like those.
Yeah, I had a lot of fun making those. All right, what other game to play? Uh,
Mm.
kind of didn't really have anything else planned. Oh, I can play Celeste. I don't know. That game kind of weird for some reason. Like, there's like these weird
Mm.
glitches on the screen. I don't know if it's my monitor or something. So I don't know if I'll play that. Let's see. I just straight up beat Sphinx.
Mm. It's the
Uh,
famous DZD background. Did you make that yourself?
yeah, it's basically just the Virtual Boy background and the font. I can't remember where it's from, but it's like from this. I want to say it's a Japanese only game. I don't know. I just found it online. It looks really cool.
It was nice.
Thanks.
It reminds me of the cursed era where I didn't have good internet because I was using satellite internet, and we would try to do streams together, and I would sound like a robot the entire time.
Yeah, those are some fun times. I like that.
Those were fun times. It was funny because I would be making like a long rant, like I would have a whole point that I was trying to make, and then it just like I would watch it back on the video, and I was like, wait a minute, I sounded like a robot.
Yeah. And then I had to like try to piece it together.
Oh no.
Editing.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
I would have my own like little recorded version because I had MP3 Skype recorder at the time.
Yeah.
Oh, those were the days.
That saved us a
MP3
few
Skype
times.
recorder. It did. It did on the D-pad. Like you would forget to record, and I would have one because it would just record every call I went into.
You'd either forget to record or crash, because that actually happened on one of the D-pads, and we lost an entire episode because I guess I didn't update it when I should have.
R.I.P.
Yeah, there's a lot of lost media that I've produced.
DZ Dog talks about lost media. DZ Dog becomes lost media. It's like the mind expansion meme.
Yeah, pretty much.
Mm.
It's weird. I can't. I was gonna play some King of Fighters, but it won't like capture it. It's so annoying. I guess I could just full screen it. Oh no, I guess I can't. Dang it.
I had a friend quite some time ago. I don't really talk to them anymore, but I sent them one of your videos, like this was a long time ago, and they said this guy is the whitest black man who I've ever heard.
I've
I just
gotten that
thought
a
that
lot.
was funny.
I don't really care at this point. I just how I talk. I don't know why. I wasn't raised in, I guess, a ghetto environment. I don't know how to say it.
Mm.
I'm just a nerdy black guy.
You don't have hood genetics.
No, I don't. I'm from Texas. I know there's like ghetto parts in Texas, but I was, I guess, the more middle class part of Texas. I'm not hood enough.
The place I live in now is basically the hood. Like the school I go to is they call it a majority minority school, but like almost everyone I see there is black. And it feels really weird because the stuff they talk about I can't really relate to. And they use this like coded language. I don't understand what it is, but I've had to pick up on a lot of the slang that they use because it's like everything that they say is slang.
Hmm. That is very weird. I mean, I know.
It's hard for me to understand.
Yeah, it's probably just a culture thing. Oh my gosh, Epic Games, you really got to update now. I just wanted to play this stupid. Actually, it's not a stupid game. I like it, but I don't know.
That's pretty epic, bro.
Yeah, all these stupid online storefronts. We don't need any more. We just need. We got 2. That's fine. All right, I'll just buy all my games
What we have
physically. Why?
What we have to do is go back in time and become Minecraft streamers.
And then just get really big, get famous.
I thought I was going to get famous doing Minecraft videos. I wish I still had these from 2013. I made these videos recording my Windows XP computer. And I would call someone on the phone when I got into school. I would call someone on the phone. Like, I asked this random kid, just this random kid from school, if he wanted to be in my Minecraft video. So I had him on the phone, and I would be commentating over the microphone, and I would have the phone, like, placed up onto the microphone, trying to talk into it at the same time. And it was the worst audio setup that you could possibly imagine trying to record these Minecraft videos.
I can imagine.
Yeah,
That's even worse
terrible.
than like those old CRT videos that people were like recording their TVs with the camera.
Yeah, I mean, I still do that, but
yeah, there's some sort of charm to that now.
There is. I like it. It feels kind of nice. Like you're going back in time in a good way. But yeah, I wish I still had recordings of those videos because I just deleted them all. Um, at some point in like 2014, I was so ashamed of the videos that I just deleted them all. But I wish I still had them because those, I'm pretty sure those would be an interesting way to look at my evolution as a creator over time because channel's definitely changed a lot since then, sitting on a Windows XP laptop with this rudimentary free screen recording software, trying desperately to make this pirated version of Minecraft work with commentary over the home phone.
Now, I actually have Minecraft. I could probably just play that.
Yeah, we could. We could go back. We could go back to the past to play some shitty games that suck ass. I mean, it's an okay game. I like it, but
Yeah, I like
you know,
Minecraft. Right.
Minecraft Let's Play #1 of
Uh,
1,000.
oh my gosh. Brown bricks in Minecraft.
Brown bricks in Minecraft.
Uh,
I need to become a brown bricks YouTuber. And I'm not referring to the popular game you're thinking of, Terraria. I'm actually talking about building brown bricks in real life.
um, okay. Is that a
Yes.
metaphor, or you're actually gonna?
It's not a double entendre, not a metaphor, not even an onomatopoeia. I'm talking about building brown bricks in the real world, possibly a minefield like Minesweeper, but more specifically in the real world.
That sounds incredibly stupid, but I'm not your father, so whatever. Go ahead. I have
How
no.
dare you claim, how dare you claim that you're not my father? I will not take this slander on my
At this
behalf.
point, I kind of am. It's like a Piccolo and Gohan thing going on. See, that's how you can prove I'm black. I make references to Dragon Ball Z. It's like the only anime we watch.
They all watch Dragon Ball Z.
It's true. I don't know why. We love it.
It's strange because you're not even wrong. Like, there's this kid in my class, and it's a class of like 10 people. He was talking about Dragon Ball Z just the other day. I've watched him watch Yu Yu Hakusho on his phone and Slam Dunk on his phone, the basketball show.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, and it's like this giant, like, black kid. Like, he's like 6'4", and he's like totally normal. Like, there's nothing weird about him at all. Like, everybody loves the guy in the class, but he likes these like obscure 90s anime and like he will wear like Rugrats shirts and stuff. It's strange.
Huh.
I've tried talking to him, but we didn't really get along very well just because we couldn't really relate other than on that one thing of liking cartoons.
Yeah, I've had a lot of experiences with that. Just people who I wanted to talk with, but there's only like two things we have in common, and we're just completely different people.
Yeah, like I used to think my interests would be the way that I make friends with people. Like that, I thought my interests were the only way I could make friends, but it's really about chemistry and personality.
Yeah.
Like now I know people who I have very different interests with, but our chemistry is really good, so it doesn't really matter.
Yeah. I don't know. It's you just got to get to know people on a deeper level after a while.
Yeah. It feels a lot like most people put up a mask in order to not get hurt. There's like a public self and then there's a private self. I kind of do the same thing because I want to risk not risk conflict. I don't like conflict very much.
Yeah, me neither. And I feel like that can be very detrimental. Sometimes you have to kind of throw yourself into certain situations, even if they're not the most comfortable.
Mm.
All right, here we
Yeah.
go.
Oh boy, brown bricks, here I come.
Yeah, boy. Uh, let's see. I remember how to do any of this. Oh
Do
no, Area 51. Can't believe I downloaded this.
Area 51.
All right. Well,
Is it the light gun game?
no, it's the actual Area 51. Someone built it
Oh boy.
in Minecraft. Hopefully this
Oh
doesn't
boy.
crash. Oh
I
no.
I can't. Yeah, I can't see it on the screen yet. There's a black screen, but hopefully it'll show up soon.
Yeah, I don't know if the it's just like the stream's lagging because I can
Hmm.
see it just fine. No,
OBS.
YouTube
Oh,
doesn't
there it
send
goes.
video
I
to
can
me.
see it now.
Okay, because I don't know if I have like just too much stuff open, and my internet just sucks.
Mm.
Okay, well here we are.
Area 51, Elon Musk Dreamland. Here we go.
Oh
Woo!
boy. Let's see what to do. I guess just dig.
When we elect Andrew Yang to give everybody neat bucks, then we can then we can all play the Area 51 Minecraft level every day. Just live inside of this map.
Oh gosh, there are people who like RP seriously, like have hard RP on Minecraft. Like
They're
they're
all
just really passionate about it. That's cool, you know.
Mm. Mm-hmm. Mm.
I don't know. I kind of feel like I've gotten over escapism, or just like aggressive escapism. If that makes any sense. I feel like people kind of take it a little too far.
Mm. Yeah, I haven't taken it as far as I used to, where what I used to do was like Skyrim, for example. When I first played that game, I was so into it that I played it for like since I woke up to since I went to sleep. Like it was like a linear cycle. I would wake up, play Skyrim, and then I would play it for so long until I went to bed. And then I just kept doing that every single day for that summer.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty hardcore. Like it felt like I was in that world. That's the thing, is that it didn't feel like I was anywhere else. And I know when the next Elder Scrolls game comes out, whenever that's going to happen, I'm going to have the same experience most likely, because I just love Bethesda that much.
Yeah, I like Bethesda's games. I don't know how I'll feel about the newest one that comes out, because I don't know, their quality. It's really flighty. Like sometimes they'll make really great stuff, and then other times they'll put in the bare minimum.
I mean, I always count on Elder Scrolls games to do well.
Yeah, it's the Fallout ones for some reason they kind of lag. How do I open my inventory? It's been like
I
forever
believe
for this game.
they gave the Fallout
Oh, there
games
you
to like different people, which with each one or something.
Well, they gave it to Obsidian for New Vegas, and
Hmm.
then I don't know. Maybe they had like a different person, or not person, a different a different group of people, like a different division, working on some of the newer ones. Like, wasn't Fallout 76 just like Obsidian's, or not Obsidian's, Bethesda's B
Bethesda.
team or something?
I think so, yeah.
And that's why it was so bad.
Yeah. And now they're making you have a subscription for it. You have to
Yeah.
pay like $175 a year or something.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. Hopefully their next game is good.
It feels like the Fallout franchise is kind of ruined at this point because of them. It makes me sad as someone who both likes the old games and, you know, even like Fallout 3, I think was a good game. I know it was that guy, H Bomber guy.
Yeah.
He hates Fallout 3.
Well,
I think he's a cuck. I
yeah,
like
he's
it.
wrong.
When he can make his feminist analysis of a different game. I like Fallout 3.
It's not
and
great, but I enjoy it.
Yeah, and like obviously, like I think New Vegas, like that's one of my favorite games, so I feel very strongly about that. Obsidian did a good job, but I wish they would make a good Fallout game, because Fallout 4 was very bad. I played some of it, and I just it wouldn't do it for me. I know
Yeah.
you did like, what was it, like 50 Let's Plays of that game? It was like an insane amount.
I don't think it was that many, but it was pretty long. I just kind of got bored of it.
I still need to watch all of those. I've watched almost all of your videos, but
I don't know.
I
It's not very good because I was like trying to be all serious and role playing. Because I was basing it off of these people on YouTube who like get super serious into the game. They like install these mods to make it like realistic.
I had a lot of fun when I watched those, from what I remember, but it was about a year and a half ago. Well, really, no, 2 years ago at this point.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yeah, so I don't know, maybe I'll feel differently now. I loved those Tony Hawk Let's Plays you did so much, dude. Like, you have no idea how much I enjoyed those.
Yeah, well, if you enjoyed the other ones, I'm gonna be doing proving grounds someday, so it's gonna be good
Ooh,
because I actually got it working finally. I actually took the time to look up what was wrong with it.
that's gonna be great. Yeah, no, I honestly like sometimes I think about those old Tony Hawk videos you did, and I get inspired to make my own Tony Hawk Let's Play series again.
You should. That'll be fun. I'd watch it.
I had a lot of fun watching those videos, and making some of my own, because I remember right after you made yours, I was like, all right, I need to one up this guy. We're gonna have competition Star versus DZ now, or really Outlaw versus DZ at the
Yeah.
time, and so I did this Let's Play of the Game Boy version of
Oh
of Tony
yeah,
Hawk,
I
and
remember that.
I sounded like Pan Pizza in that video, kind of.
Hey, that's fine. I sound like Pan too, I guess. Apparently, didn't know that.
Oh boy, I just needed to talk more about goth girls and it would have completed it. I haven't watched one of his videos in a while, but he used to be like my second favorite YouTuber.
Yeah, he
I
still makes
was
good
on the
stuff.
Rebel Taxi fanboy. I was on
Oh,
the Rebel Taxi fanboy club, basically. Like I was the Rebel Taxi Dick Riding Association.
oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't really watch much of his stuff. I mean, if he makes a new video, I'll watch it. But for the most part, it's like whatever. Like I'll just have his podcast on when I'm just like messing around in a game or something. I don't really pay attention to it.
I thought the podcast got a lot worse
It
over
did.
time. Like it used to be so funny, and then it had like a severe dip in quality where like I think everyone makes fun of them now is like the show that just randomly goes, "Hey, do you remember that one thing? Oh, I remember that," and then the conversation ends and goes to another reference. It's like an episode of Family Guy.
It kind of is. It has a very similar formula to that, and I think it's because they don't really put much effort into the podcast like they used to. If you like look back, say, just maybe a couple of years ago, it seemed to have more polish to it. There's a bit more editing, and they just seem to have more energy about the topics they were talking about.
Yeah, there was this real sense that they cared about what they were doing, like it was fun, but now it feels like Pan just kind of makes it because he needs the extra ad revenue because
Yeah,
RIP Adpocalypse and all that.
yeah,
Um,
it's basically
and
what
it
it is at this point.
and he makes like if you watch the video without ad block, which I almost never do on YouTube, every now and again I take the glimpse. I jump over the proverbial cliff to see what the world on the other side is like, and then I realize, oh wait, there are 50 ads in this 2-hour video. I would do the same thing, but yikes, you know? So it's weird. It's weird for me watching that go by where I know there are some people on mobile who just really like cartoons and they're like 14 years old like I was when I first started watching his videos and they're looking at this podcast with 50 ads in it and they're going, "Oh boy, I'm excited to listen to Pan talk." You know? And there's something about that that just makes me feel a little bit weird. Like you've got to go for your hustle on YouTube and all that, but at least if you do it, make it be passionate. Make it be fun. And you can't make absolutely every episode of a podcast be super fun, but you can at least try and like it feels like Pan is asleep half the episodes now, you know?
I know, like, there's just this one episode I think where he just like kind of he doesn't doze off, but he just like I think he walked out. Like he said, "I'm hungry," and then he just left because you don't hear from him for a while. So I was like, did he just get up to go get something to eat?
during
Wow,
the
dude.
recording. Don't even cut it out, just leave it there. And like I've heard
Oh
him like
shoot.
forget what they're talking about or like audibly like forget that he's on the show. Like it's weird. Like it like or when he's not doing that, he's just talking about his girlfriend like, "Oh yeah, dude, I have so much sex with my GF." It's like when
Yeah,
Digibro got a girlfriend all over again where every single video he made was just sex and weed, bro. Sex and weed. Is this
I
just what
know.
incels do?
I
I
guess because
I don't
Mumkey was kind of like that too for a while.
Yeah, except in his case, it was making overextended drama videos about how his girlfriend was a you know what,
Oh,
um,
yeah.
and yeah, it's a series of unfortunate events on all sides. Let's just say that, um, and so and like when I feel like when Mumkey met Sheepover, like it wasn't as bad. Cause I remember when that happened, he got with Sheepover and he made like a few jokes, but he was pretty mature about it. Calling Mumkey mature is something I don't usually do.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so like he was pretty good about it. But like Jeff through Mother's Basement, the anime shill is that he calls himself a shill. Um, is that like he makes videos with his girlfriend now, and it's just like, oh my god, guys, we have so much sex, and she's a cosplayer, and she like I paid for her tits with my shill money, dude. And it's like, all
And isn't
right,
he like
okay,
supposed to be like liberal feminist guy? I can't remember his story.
yes, yeah, he calls himself a communist now.
Oh, so he's one of
Even
those
though
guys.
Yeah, it's weird because he talks about universal basic income, which if you like read Marx, which I actually have, I haven't read Capital, but I've read all of his other books, like he would very clearly be opposed to universal basic income because he wants the means of production to be socialized democratically. So it's very different than having UBI, but like Mother's Basement says, "Oh, we should just have universal basic income and that will be communism." I don't think he understands what these
He's
words
he's one
mean.
of those people who just kind of attaches himself to an ideology.
Yeah.
It's like,
Yeah.
oh, someone shared a cookie with me. That's communism. It's like basically everybody on Twitter nowadays. It's those people
Yeah.
who are like, oh, Jesus was a socialist, and it's like, no, they take this one. I think I know the scripture they're trying to like take and bend it into communism. It's in Acts, I think,
Mm.
and
Are you
he,
are you
huh?
talking about the part where it talks about how a rich man can't get into heaven?
I don't think it's that one. It was something about how basically he wanted the Jewish people or just like people in general to have like I don't really know how to describe it. It was kind of like this communal living. It's not really like a state based thing or anything. It was just like, oh, you offer what you can and stuff like that to people, and it's nothing to do with like socialism or any other type of like state mandated um, ideology. It's more like charity basically, but they try to like twist it into something it isn't
Mm.
because they don't know how to read the Bible, I guess. Because
Mm.
millennials don't know how to read. Star, if you didn't know.
Millennials don't know how to read. That's
That's what
pretty base.
that's what my boomer dad told me.
These millennials on Twitter, get them out of here. It's funny because I saw Barack Obama recently say that like he used the words left-leaning side of Twitter, and I thought, why is he saying this is the president of the US? He just said left-leaning side of Twitter. I thought that was so funny.
I think even he's kind of embarrassed about the I guess the left side of YouTube or not YouTube, Twitter.
Mm. It was weird. He called out cancel
Yeah, he
culture
was
and
against
everybody
cancel culture,
ev
and I was like, whoa.
yeah, he like came out from his rock, his hiding place that every now and again he comes out to say peekaboo to out to the masses. And this time he came out and said, "Peekaboo, you're not canceled." And then went under. He went under his hiding again, under his rock. It was very nice.
Yeah, and people got upset about that. I was like, calm down,
Did
guys.
they?
A few people did. Some people were okay with it, but I think certain, I guess, liberals, some of the more far left people were like, "Oh, Obama didn't get to where he was with this just compromise. He was all about yes, we can. I'm like, okay. Are they gonna try to cancel? Are they gonna try to like go against Obama? Their messiah.
We can cancel Obama. I mean, I personally canceled Obama because he did a lot of really like bad
Oh,
war
he did.
crimes and
Yeah,
stuff.
he did. And for some reason, he got away with it because he's a black guy. He's a clean cut black dude. Everyone loves
He's a
him.
Muslim, guys. Come on, he's a Muslim.
Uh, yeah, the cult
It's
of
weird.
personality around him is just like really creepy.
Yeah, it was funny. We were in the storage unit the other day, and I randomly found this like burned DVD disc with like YouTube videos burned on it from 2008 that my dad made that said Obama rules on it, and it
Oh,
said 2008 on it. So I was like, wow, this is 11-year-old burned
I
DVD disc
know.
with YouTube videos.
That's embarrassing, and that's coming from me, the chief priest of embarrassing stuff. I don't know.
I am the commissar of the High Court of Cringe.
Nice. I didn't want to say cringe because I was like too overdone, but I was like, yeah, whatever. Probably should have just said cringe.
Cringe Cringe has made a comeback. I don't understand what that's about, but I hear everyone saying based and cringe now, where
I
like that
know.
was kind of it was kind of like the thing that the 13-year-olds on R9K said, because there's multiple factions on R9K, as a connoisseur of R9K culture, as a well-read scholar of the 4chan board known as R9K, I can tell you, cringe was not something that like the members who were taken seriously said on the board for quite some time. And now based in cringe has become part of the popular lexicon for people who I thought were supposedly against that. Like there's the meme, they say, "Oh, it's 4gag, all the kids are on R9K, Like pools closed, guys, no kids allowed. Like that's what people say in spaces where they don't like people who go on 4chan R9K. But now they've kind of started adopting the language of the most cringe-worthy, supposedly for the longest time, sections of that image board, or of that board rather. And it's strange. It's really, really strange to me that's the point where we're at, because I've seen these guys rail against those words, not based so much, but I've seen these guys rail against like cringe constantly. It's something 14-year-olds say, blah blah blah. And now it's just like something everyone who's supposed to be like the obscure based bros who are hip on the underground lingo say, where like they used to make fun of people for saying that and now everyone says it. It's weird to me. It's hard for me to keep up when I see these changes being made.
Yeah, it's moving really, really fast, and I've just kind of tuned it out. Like occasionally, I'll poke my head in, see what's going down, but it's like otherwise, it's just like no, I don't want any part of this.
Yeah, it seems like it moves faster now than it ever has. It's like everyone, like, I still haven't gotten over the Jeffrey Epstein didn't kill himself meme. Like, where did that go? I wanted to share more based memes about how Hillary Clinton killed Jeffrey Epstein. I was still on that, and then everyone moved on to like something like the next day. Like it
Yeah,
was
then it
the
was okay,
next day. I'm
boomer,
not even kidding.
and then people
Yeah,
ran
then it
that
was
into the
okay,
ground.
boomer. Because it was like this random like 25-year-old member of parliament in a country no one gives a shit about said okay boomer,
Ugh,
uh,
I hated
and
that
it
so
was,
much. I was like, the meme's dead now. We've killed it.
yeah, a member of parliament said okay boomer. It's weird.
That's why you
That,
don't
that
take Britain, whatever the frick it's called, seriously. I was gonna say a bad word for a second,
Britain.
but the Lord stopped me. I was gonna say British. I was like, I don't care, whatever. The people who sound like they have mental problems, their weird accents. Oh well, governor, I like to talk about cheese. No one cares. You're not charming. You're not sophisticated. You're a bunch of weird pedophile people. I don't like you. I need Jesus. I'm glad that the Muslims are taking over. It's great.
Can't blame me. I'm about to go eat me some cheese. Can't blame me.
It's just Wallace and Gromit. That's the first thing I could think. That's right, Great Britain. The best thing that came out of your country was some stupid claymation and some stupid show about a time traveling homosexual. I don't know. Doctor Who's overrated. No one likes it. It's just for basic bitch millennial women to talk about.
Hey, I proudly identify as a basic bitch millennial woman. I'll have you know. As long as I'm allowed to like Doctor Who. Creature Comforts was a good show. I like that one. Did you ever watch Creature Comforts?
I have not.
It was made by the Wallace and Gromit people.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Because I like Wallace and Gromit.
It was a great series. I think you would really like it. It has very much like the slow, kind of dry sense of humor that both of us tend to identify with. It's good stuff. I wish claymation would make a comeback. Unlike British people's existence,
Yes.
I wish claymation would make a resurgence in the world because it has so much creative potential that has not even been tapped into. Like in the modern era with modern cameras, think of how much we could do with claymation, you know?
And we have Leica. I think that's what it's called.
Yeah, Leica Studios,
But I
where
don't know.
every single one of their movies is a box office failure, but they keep making them because the guy who runs the studio is the son of the guy who runs Nike. It's amazing.
I know, it's so crazy.
It's nepotism at its finest. The one time when nepotism was good. See, I wish like Trump Jr. was into like homebrew NES games or something, and we could just get like NES games made on a mass scale. I would vote for Trump if that happened.
Hey, I would too.
That's not even a joke. I'm like, depending on who they put in, I probably will vote for him.
Yeah.
I mean, I live in Kentucky anyway, so it doesn't really matter.
Come on. I can't ride the horse. How do you tame a horse in Minecraft? Star.
Brown brick.
Use your Zoomer knowledge to educate me.
I'm opening my third eye at this moment. I'm channeling the Zoomer energy. I actually have no idea how to do this.
Okay, that's fine. I didn't want a horse anyway. 'Cause I can run super fast.
Super fast. I'm going super fast, bro. You see it right there? I'm going super fast. Pizza time. I like pizza. Do you like pizza? More specifically from Spider-Man.
I do. It's my
Me as
favorite
well.
kind of pizza.
Pizza time is my favorite time of the week.
Yeah, pretty much at this point.
Spider-Man 2 was a good video game.
Spider-Man, the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies are probably some of the best Spider-Man movies.
I actually don't like the Sam Raimi Spider-Man movies. I just like the video games that came out of them. More specifically, Spider-Man 2. I don't like the first game. I own the first game. It's really boring. But the Spider-Man 2 is like an open world. It's like an actual open world web.
Yeah, I played a little bit of it. It's really good. I need to
It's
actually
so
play
good.
it, like finish it.
Yeah, you do need to finish it. It's like one of the best games in my opinion. They made a new game that's similar. The what was it? The Amazing Spider-Man PS4 game.
Or I think it was just called Spider-Man, but yeah, I've seen that one. That one looks good too.
Yeah. It doesn't have as much of an open world thing going on though, but the web slinging mechanic I've heard praised in a lot of depth is that people really like how well they did the web slinging. I want to play that.
Yeah, but I don't really want to get a PS4. Even though there are some good games on there, I don't know. I just feel like I'm good with the Switch. I'm good with what I got.
Yeah. I've played the new Spider-Man game at my neighbor's house when I'm babysitting him. And I don't play it for very long because he always takes the controller away because he's like a little kid. But when I've played it with him, it definitely is worth it. Maybe not worth the whole new console. I mean, PS5 is coming out next year.
Yeah.
My prediction, I don't know if you feel the same way about this, but my prediction is going to be that PS4 comes out November of next year.
Um, I don't know. I guess because that would be like perfect for Christmas.
Yeah, it would be the holiday season. Software developers would have enough time to make games by the time Christmas comes around. They'd have enough killer apps, and they like releasing it around holidays. And the thing with consoles is that, like the 10-year long cycle that the PS3 and the Xbox 360 and the Wii had was not normal for video game consoles at all. Like if you go back through the history of game consoles, you've always had 5 years go by, a new console comes out, or 5 to 6 years,
Yeah,
sometimes
around that
four,
time.
4 to 6 years around that level. So I feel like what Sony and Microsoft are doing now is they're kind of meeting us halfway, where they go, okay, okay, fine, we won't release a new console in 5 years, we'll release one in seven. And so Xbox Scarlet and the PS5, I think that's what's going to happen. I think they're going to release them both in 2020. It's sometime in November because at this point, like PS4 and Xbox One have been out for almost 7 years. They've been out at 6 years at this point because PS4 was released in November of 2013, which is amazing to think about. Like, it's kind of crazy how far things have gone because I remember watching the E3 conference for PS4 as it was coming out, and now it's been like 6 years post its release. It feels like it still feels like it just came out. It's so weird. And now PS5's coming.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like it's been out for all that long. But I don't know. I guess because I've just been busy on the PC, haven't really been keeping up with the console games.
I think our brains, like at least mine, has been kind of reshaped by just how long the Xbox 360 and PS3 were relevant. Because like game consoles were never that relevant for that long. Like they stayed around for so long, it was kind of amazing. Like you got Metal Gear Solid 5 like barely chugging along, barely trying to run on PS3 and Xbox 360 when those consoles were well on their way out. Like they
Yeah,
should have not been receiving software that high level, that was that high of a caliber into that stage in their lifespan, but they were because there were so many of these kids who grew up with the Xbox 360, myself included, who were used to the idea of it being there for a long time. So they were trying to keep it alive, just like pumping air into it through some kind of casket, trying desperately, oh, let's do CPR, do anything we can to keep it alive. And it was like it had like 3 feet in the grave, or I guess 2 feet in one arm, and it was just barely trying to stay along. And it was kind of terrible watching some of those new games that they tried to put onto those consoles that were not supposed to run on them at all, trying as hard as they could to run. It's like the little engine that could on steroids. Like if the little engine that could had Down syndrome and used a lot of coke or something.
yeah. It was. I don't know. I kind of liked it though, that they were trying to like, I guess, make like these games more accessible to people who didn't have the new consoles or just couldn't afford them.
Yeah. No, I tremendous, like I have a huge amount of respect for that, but like when you look at the product, like just how cut down they were, it's kind of amazing.
Yeah, it's kind of funny in a way.
It's weird with me, I tend to buy games that if there's a PS2 version of them that were on the 360, I buy the PS2 version because I want to see what it looked like when they were trying as hard as they could to make these games work on old, on at that point last gen hardware. Um, there's something about the charm of that I really like. Where people, when I tell people this, they look at me bizarre because I released a video, I guess last week, a couple days ago, where I showed my copy of Sonic Unleashed, which is the PS2 version, and I got like multiple comments telling me, "Why the fuck are you playing Sonic Unleashed on the PS2 when there's an Xbox 360 version that's clearly better?" And to me, like I look at that and I go, because it's interesting, because I
Yeah,
I like I like seeing the history of this was the little engine that could, on its last couple years of life, just barely trying to chug along and do make the hardware that it had as good as it possibly could for this one task. And there were certain games that came out in that 2008, 2009 PS2 era that really pushed the envelope, that tried as hard as they could to produce something that was of the current generation, even though they were on last generation hardware. And it's like what I was saying earlier about punching weight is that I respect games a lot that try to make the most of their hardware because we live in an age now where DLCs are dominating the video game market, where, first day patches end up taking
Yeah.
20 minutes before you play the game because now you have like a 15 gigabyte update that you have to do, even though that content should be on the disc if it's being updated on the first day. But they had to rush it out to stores. They had to produce those copies in the factory to be on, that specific date in order to align with those profit margins. And so they have all these cutbacks, all these strange ways that they have to make the game industry work in order to make the most money. You have to go through all these menus, all these hoops to jump through. And there's something about having not just a complete product, but a complete product that really tries. Like they try as hard as they can to be what they are with as much polish in mind. And I think that's what those old games are emblematic of, those last generation little engines that were trying to as hard as they could to gasp for life on a dying system because there were no DLCs, there were no day one patches that could solve these seemingly unsolvable issues with these new generation games trying to make themselves run. They had to be creative. They had to try as hard as they could. And I think that's beautiful in a way. It's a miracle of engineering that they could make things like that happen. And it's all the more meaningful looking at our video game landscape today, where so much of it is riled in this, in this day one DLC, day one patch, incomplete game that you pay $60 for.
Yeah, it's really, really cynical and corporate. It's kind of one of the reasons why I don't like to play newer games.
Yeah, yeah,
Speaking of which,
yeah.
I want to get my hands on Sonic Unleashed. That's another game that I always wanted to play.
It's pretty fun. I don't like the night segments very much.
Yeah, a lot of people don't like the Warhog stages.
Which, ironically, that's one of the reasons why I think the PS2 version is better, because they don't have so many of the Warhog stages. The Warhog stages are annoying. You mainly just get the Sonic stages. Um,
Hmm.
it's a fun time, fun game.
I don't know. Maybe I'll get it on the Wii. Maybe that can be another game I can play.
Oh no, motion controls. Yikes.
Yeah. Well, there's a way to emulate a Wii controller, but it's not really that good, obviously. And there's also a way you can like use an actual Wii Mote and nunchuck on the Dolphin emulator. You have to have like a Bluetooth connection.
Yeah, I remember seeing something about that on a YouTube video. It seems really convoluted.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm gonna have to figure it out if I want to play a Proving Ground because there's no choice for like regular controls. You can only use the motion controls. They don't give you an option. And I understand why they did that because they wanted to show off, the fancy motion controls. But still, it's really annoying.
Yeah, I like I like what's the word? Those few motion control games that like did it really well, like Mad World. I think they utilized motion controls in that game well enough that I would rather play it with motion controls than a controller. And obviously you have no choice, but like there aren't very many games like that I can say did better because they had motion controls. A lot of the time it felt just like a forced gimmick, which is weird
Hmm.
because it's like what is it, like the fourth or the third most popular selling game console of all time? Like it was, everyone was so excited. I remember watching the E3 the E3 conference on Nintendo Wii where everyone was acting like it was the coolest thing. It was this is the next era in gaming, even though Atari technically did it first.
Yeah.
This is the new tech. We've done it. Woo woo. Like everyone was amazing. Everybody's grandma bought one. There were Wii's everywhere. So much shovelware for family and friends. Like it was the Wii craze. Everyone was insane about Wii. Everyone had Wii on the mind, even when they were jacking off. And then so it's weird looking at it now, looking at a lot of these games where I just sit here and go, a lot of these were not even that good. Why did
Yeah.
everyone care about this so much? It's bizarre.
And I
It's
like the
only
Wii, but I feel like a lot of people just kind of got blinded by the gimmick.
blinded by the light. Yeah, no, me too. Um, I was excited about it at the time as well, mostly because I was a little kid. But at the same time, it was a cool concept, but it's hard to tap into that mindset now, where it's been over a decade now, of course. And looking back at like the world that created the Wii and the perception surrounding it is hard to look back on because the world has changed so much. And that's kind of why I love archiving the past and going back to these old things because it almost feels like you're partaking in a piece of history where like you're a different person now, but you can kind of feel yourself stepping into that era a little bit. It's almost like you have a slice of the past in your hands using those motion controls. So even though I kind of hate them, I don't mind them because it feels almost like I'm using a piece of history.
Yeah, I can understand that sentiment.
Mm,
That being
mm.
said, I still would have preferred more games that just used regular controls.
Yeah, me too. It's always good to have the option. That's why I like the fact that Nintendo Switch lets you use a GameCube controller now. Granted, you have to buy their version of the GameCube controller, but it still works the same nonetheless.
Oh, really? You have to have their version of the controller? I thought you could just get like this adapter. It's like this third party thing that
Oh
you
wait,
plug
there
in.
might be an adapter. I actually
Yeah,
don't
because one
know.
of my friends had one of those when we were playing Smash Ultimate a few months ago.
Oh, well, I guess they have an adapter. Yeah, whenever I get a Switch, I want to play the games that way. How long do you think the Switch is going to last?
That's a
Because
good
like
question.
I feel like this console could never end with like it just feels like the perfect design. What comes next, you
I
know?
know it's yeah. I don't know where would they be able to go from here.
Like
I think it'll last probably like maybe 20 years, maybe even longer.
yeah, unless like the world radically changes because I look at this console and it's like it has all the handheld games. It has all the console games. You can use your controllers, you can use the little tablet thing as you want to. It like all the features like succinctly work together. And so I couldn't see it progressing beyond that. It just feels like it has the perfect design, the most comfy design. Like if you go on the V board on 4chan, people are constantly making these comfy Switch threads where they're just posting pictures of themselves with their Switch, just having fun. And like people love it. It's like what the Wii was supposed to be, but lasts longer than like 5 minutes. That's how it feels to me.
Yeah, I think they kind of took a step back. Like even though the Switch is really ambitious, it kind of feels I don't know. There's something simplistic about it that the Wii was trying to do, but it never could do.
Yeah, I agree. Like it is literally like the every person console where the Wii wanted to be the every person console,
Hmm.
but it ended up just appealing to like the lowest common denominator, or just like really old people and like big normie kind of folks who just wanted to play bowling with their kids or whatever. So you got a lot of shovelware on there. But the Switch like meets this perfect medium where they have the third party support, they have like the obscure JRPG, big titty games. They're actually outcompeting Sony on big titty games. This is
Yeah, I
bizarre.
heard about
Is that
that.
Sony has come out and said that there is no moral place for these big titty games on our console, and then Nintendo came up and was like, hit us up with that right here.
And it's
And it
funny because Nintendo forever has kind of been very moralizing. Like
Yeah.
in the '80s, they would do everything to remove like sex or drug references from games.
Yeah, and it wasn't just in the 80s, it was like up to the Wii U era even, where they kind of dipped their
Mm.
toes into it with the Wii U with like games like Zombie U and stuff like that. They kind of did that with the GameCube with
And it,
Killer 7.
yeah, and the Wii with Mad World. So yeah, yeah, I guess you're right.
Yeah, so they always kind of dipped their toes into it a little bit, but they still had like the Nintendo seal of approval and this is morally good game and this kind of stuff. They marketed themselves as the family system.
Uh huh.
But the Switch like genuinely feels like this is the first time that Nintendo has marketed a console in a very long time at least to absolutely everyone. Like this is just by design the every person system where it's perfect for the hardcore gamers who like their weird stuff. It's perfect for normal people who just want to play like Call of Duty and normal games, and it's perfect for little kids who want to play Lego Underground or whatever. It just works for everybody. You can take it in your pool, you can take it on the bus. I've seen people on the bus with it. You can take it to school, you can take it to work, take it everywhere. It's like it has the mass appeal that handhelds have and has the mass appeal that all of the best game consoles have, and then mixes them all into one, while also using the tablet phone technology stuff that normies love so much. Like, they tried to do that with the Wii U and failed, but
Yeah.
with the Switch, they just perfectly synthesized everything together. They took everything that has made a Nintendo console successful in the past and created this beautiful mix that ended up working for everybody.
I know, and that just makes me think that this system's gonna just be their go-to system for a really long time. I don't think we're gonna see like a Switch 2 or Switch Redux or anything like that because the design is just basically the closest thing to perfect you can get to.
Mm. Yeah, I want to buy a Switch now.
Oh, you definitely should, when you can,
Yeah,
of course. Because I
yeah.
haven't, and I really love it.
Mm. Yeah, I'm excited for the new for the what is it? It's Suda 51 is new game. No More Heroes 3.
Hmm.
Uh, I want to play No More Heroes 3 so badly. It's gonna be so good.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I've only like seen the first trailer. I don't know if there's like a new one out, but it looks like it still retained a lot of its charm. But I like how they made Travis more. I don't want to say friendly, but more likable. Like he doesn't seem like as much of a douchebag as he was in the first couple of games. So there's a bit of
Mm.
an arc. So I kind of like that there's going to be some maybe character development with this game.
Yeah, he used to be a big punk guy, and now he's a less punk guy.
Yeah, I don't know if this is gonna be like Suda 51 trying to clean up the game. So hopefully it's gonna be as gory as it was. But I don't know. I'm still looking forward to it. I'm still gonna play it because I like
I,
those
I'm wait
games.
I'm
They're
waiting for Pan Pizza's review of it to
oh
come out
yeah,
after the game comes out, and he's gonna go, Travis touchdown, more like Travis tap that ass.
yeah. He doesn't really do a lot of those like cheesy sex jokes, but he's probably gonna do something like that for that
Yeah,
video.
I miss those. I genuinely laughed at those a bunch of times.
Yeah, even though a lot of them weren't funny, it was still kind of just fun to watch him mess around because like I said, this was like early YouTube. People were just kind of trying to figure out what was their niche, what was their thing.
Yeah, like I liked how bad the jokes were so bad that they were good. Like in an inverse way, and I don't use the phrase "so bad it's good" very often, but like structurally, like nothing about them was supposed to work, but they just worked so well because of his delivery and like the fact that he would say it. No one else would say it but him. And he would make them genuinely creative sometimes too. It was great.
Yeah, I don't know. I guess he's just kind of lost that passion because he still has it in some of his new videos, but I feel like he's just kind of going through the motions. Typical YouTuber, And there's nothing wrong with that because I kind of feel like that sometimes when I make my videos.
Mm. I mean, I do it too. My channel is like a mishmash of everything. Sometimes I just live stream for like the entire week without even making a video.
Hmm.
Do 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 do
I'm getting
do
kind of bored of
do.
Minecraft. What else should I play? See, how long have I been streaming actually? Not
The
that
Hong
long.
Kong 97 music is unironically one of my top 10 songs ever.
I actually like that song a lot.
I do too. It's so good. I could listen to it forever.
Oh, have you heard of this guy called Healthy Video Game Nerd or something like that?
Oh yeah, he did the videos talking about Hong Kong 97. He owns the only physical version of it to our knowledge.
Yeah. Yeah, he makes some good stuff. I like his videos a
I
lot.
do too. His videos actually make me nostalgic for like when I was first getting into YouTube. They have very much that feeling. The ultra healthy video game nerd. He
Ultra
makes
Healthy
a
Video Game Nerd. Yeah.
Yeah, he lives in like Japan and he makes videos on import games, which is really cool because not enough people do that. You have a Jimmy Hopper. Jimmy Hopper, he makes videos
That sounds
on
familiar.
yeah, Jimmy Hopper Import Gaming for the Win is what he's called. I just like saying it with a New York accent because saying Hopper is fun to me.
Sounds like
Uh,
Jimmy Hoffa. Yeah.
yeah, the crazy unionist cult guy.
Yeah.
Uh, I read a book about him. Really interesting guy. Long live the Teamsters Union. Not really bad guys, but
Weren't they
um,
like tied with the mob or something? Or is that someone else I'm
yeah,
thinking of?
yeah. The Teamsters Union was really corrupt because they kind of like controlled their union members' like families and stuff, and there was a lot of really horrible corruption going on in the Teamsters Union. There were a couple movies that they made about Jimmy Hoffa and the Teamsters that were kind of like anti-union films,
Hmm.
but other than like the cultural climate at the time being like against unions, that the Teamsters did a lot of really terrible things, and Jimmy Hoffa eventually did go to jail, along with other people who were affiliated with him. Oh, interesting historical tidbit, but I like Ultra Healthy Video Game Nerd a lot because he talks about these games that like no one else will talk about. Like he does the Nihon Telenet's fan club magazine. Like who would talk about these magazines other than this guy, you know? Um, and I these like nowadays these are some of my favorite channels, the ones who just go on to the most obscure stuff. Um, but let me send you Import Gaming for the Win because he's one of my favorite channels as well. Oh boy, loud noise.
Oh, excuse me. Was that me?
No,
Um.
that wasn't you. That was on my end. I'm
Hold
gonna
on.
join the mob, DZ Dog. I need your parental advice on how to do this.
Okay. Number one, don't don't snitch. No snitches. Number
Stitches
two.
get stitches, young man.
Number two, just do as much work as you can, and then try to get out as early as possible. Like maybe go for at least a decade.
Go for at least a decade. Thanks, Dad. I appreciate the advice.
Anytime.
The most morally upright, yet centrist at the same time advice one could give. That's kind of like I don't know. You have very centrist vibes. I like it.
I don't know. I've always been like that. I've never really had any desire to like pledge allegiance to just one ideology. I mean, aside from of course being a Christian, but I feel like that's it's like on a more deeper level than just what political party you belong to. I'm not really sure how to describe it.
No, I see what you mean. It's more about the spiritual element than it is about ideological elements. Like you're not part of like, I don't know, like the Christian Freedom Party or something. I just made that up in
No,
my head.
yeah, it was like what's it called? Patriot Prayer. I think that's one of those groups out there. I don't know. I
Yeah,
don't
they're
like a
kind of
lot of
weird.
the kind of far right Christian groups, even though I would, I guess, be considered conservative just for some of my views. But I don't know, man.
There's a interesting section of the political compass that's like conservative Christian, but then like kind of economically populist, like wants to get rid of NAFTA and stuff, and like has more like, oh, universal healthcare and stuff. Like it's kind of interesting. I like talking to those people because like if you live in the South, like you meet people like that all the time, but they just vote for Republican, even though they have kind of like economically left views, they vote for Republican anyway, just because they're socially conservative. They're very interesting.
Huh? I've never heard of those. That's
Oh,
a weird.
really? I've bumped into those people all the time. A lot of them are like the more poor people who are like pensioners and stuff like that, or they have Medicare, and like they really like their Medicare, but the reason they hate Obama is because he wasn't socially conservative enough.
Oh, yeah, that's understandable.
Mm. But but let's see. But yeah, no, I was gonna make a of allegiance joke, but now it's too late. I was gonna make I was gonna say I pledge allegiance to the flag of Zimbabwe for justice under Allah, but now the joke was ruined. Uh, let's see. Now I forgot what point I was gonna make. But yeah, basically you have very centrist vibes. I like it.
Yeah, and I know people tend to rag on centrists because they don't have like any, I guess, foundation. I mean, I have a foundation when it comes to beliefs, but I just don't like to think that I have the ideology that's going to save the world. I mean, it does. Well, I do, but I don't know how to word this. But it's something far more than the physical aspects of what people want. You know, it's kind of like going back to the Bible. People, the Hebrews wanted like a political leader in Jesus, but then they had this guy who was just kind of here to help people spiritually.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I can see that. Um, and I think like you're never gonna have one guy who can just fix everything. You kind of have to get people together to work together, which is really hard because people are very divided.
Yeah.
Mm.
All right. I wanted to play Mischief Makers a bit, but for some reason it's not working, or I'm not able to capture it. Hold on, maybe I can figure it out in a timely manner.
Mm.
But until then, we can just talk.
Yeah. I used to have this belief, this understanding that like, you know, I had all the answers and I was gonna fix everything. But I think the more stuff that you learn, the more you realize how complicated everything is and
Mm-hmm.
how there isn't one magical solution that's going to fix absolutely everything, and things are just kind of complex processes of a bunch of stuff that have to be, tackled as a community, like one guy
Yes.
is never going
Yes.
to know all of the answers. They're never going to be able to solve all these complex problems. You kind of have to get a bunch of heads together to be able to do the best you can. And even then, there's always going to be so many mistakes.
Yeah, pretty much. Okay, let's try this again.
In a way, it's kind of liberating to realize that, though, because you begin to focus on more of the important things instead of just being a woodland head puncher talking about Trump on Twitter all the time about how if we just
Oh, that
vote in.
guy.
Yeah, if we
Oh.
just vote in this one candidate, the entire world will be saved, guys. Come on.
Yeah, I don't know. He was really like, I don't know what's the word to use, but he was like, he would contradict himself sometimes. Like he would
Hmm.
say that he wanted well, not the perfect leader, but he wanted to just like get anybody to go against Trump regardless. But then he would like insult anyone that he thought wasn't like up to his liking. So it was
Hmm.
like, which are you? Do you just want anyone, or do you want your perfect little leader?
Yeah, he was like the SJW archetype. It was weird. It was very,
Yeah,
very weird.
yeah. He was really obsessed over the whole Colin Kaepernick or whatever thing. I remember this
Oh
comment
God.
that he made like it was an enlight. I don't know the exact. I'm kind of paraphrasing because I don't know the exact comment. But he was like, it was people were just expecting to tune into their. Hold on, let me get this. They're expecting to tune into their like football game, but they got enlightened instead. And I was like, okay, dude.
Oh boy. They getting spiritual over here. They got enlightened by Carl Kaepernick. Oh boy. What a joke.
Yeah, I kind of feel bad for him because he doesn't seem to like have any friends, and his family doesn't really like him all that much. So I don't know. He seems like a guy who's like has a lot of pain, and he's just using, I guess, social justice and I guess the furry fandom as some sort of way of escaping it.
Yeah, I've been there before. I think everyone has their own way. Everyone has their own way of taking out the personal problems in their life through political means or some other thing. And people, but oftentimes people don't realize that that's why they're doing it. Like that's why they're so obsessed about these things. Where like I don't really consider myself a part of any movement the way that I used to. I still have a lot of the same beliefs that I've had for the last really couple years now politically, but I don't identify with a movement. I don't run around and say we must absolutely do this. I don't do that anymore because there's a place that comes from that I don't think is always out of a desire to help people. I think a lot of the time it's for a lot of people it's out of this like something deeper, you know, and I'm not going to be the one to say what it is. I don't want to, you know, assume what anyone else's life is, but for me, it was something more personal than just having a belief. It was more about things that were deeper underneath. And I think once you identify that that was part of the problem, you begin to be able to recognize that yes, you are just a normal human who has their own opinions like everybody else, and they don't quite matter very much.
Yeah, and I think that's kind of liberating once you figure that out.
I agree.
But I don't know. People just they want to feel like they're the hero in their own game, I guess.
Yeah, they don't want to be NPCs, they want to be PCs.
You're not wrong.
Especially with how big the NPC meme is.
Yeah, I don't know. It's kind of stupid, but it's also very true.
It is. I mean, I use it all the time. Part of like it's weird because I talk like half ironic and half not. So I use a lot of these terms like, oh, normal fag, NPC, and all this other stuff, and I kind of mean it, but I don't at the same time.
Uh-huh. I love the music in this game for some reason.
See, this game is great, but it's not as good as The Legend of Zelda CDI.
I mean, obviously.
I want to play those games. I've never played them.
Me neither.
See, clearly this is the next stream.
Oh no.
Trying to figure out Legend of Zelda CDI with Star.
I don't even know how to be able to emulate those. I mean, I'm sure you
I
can.
don't know. There's probably a CDI emulator. I mean, how would people get all this footage otherwise?
That's true.
Legend of Zelda CDI is like training wheels for people who can't drive. That was the thinker.
Is that like a character or something you're working on? I don't know.
No. That was from my stand-up. My name is Arthur Fleck. I'm very good at stand-up.
Oh, I got the reference.
I'm very good at stand-up. It's my passion. It's my career choice.
I'm pretty much the Arthur Fleck of YouTube at this point.
Don't say that.
You know what you get, Pro Jared? You get what you...
You deserve what you get.
No, I think,
Armac 21.
Yeah. Actually, he's back. I don't know if I mentioned that. So.
Oh, is he back? What
Yeah.
the fuck? Oh, I need to subscribe to him. What is this channel called now?
Waste O Time, I think.
Waste O Time. Is it O like an actual like 0?
Yeah. Or like, not a... No, I think it's just an O.
Was he doing live streams now?
Yeah.
Oh, the Waste O Time, yeah. Context sensitive. Oh, he's doing context sensitive again?
Mm-hmm.
He's got like a beard now. What the fuck?
I mean, he's always kind of had a beard, but it's like a big Kratos beard. He's
Yeah,
been
it
through
looks
some
like
stuff.
a God of War character? What is he, an overcoming heroin addict? What is this?
No, he I don't know if I should say this, but he already mentioned it in a previous video. He went through a really bad divorce,
Oh,
so I think that's
God bless him. I hope he's
Yeah.
doing okay. Let's see here. He looks quite old. How old is he?
Oh, I think he was like 20 when he first started doing YouTube videos, so he's got to be like in his 40s now.
Really gone downhill. Wow.
Yeah, it's a shame.
Well, not gone downhill, but,
But he's been through a lot, and he seems
Yeah.
like he doesn't. He just seems miserable. He just seems like he's had better days.
oh my lord. I'm looking at this video he made in 2013, and he looks like he's like 22 years old. Now he looks like he's like 50.
Yeah,
It's-
that's what time does to you. Because I'm not really looking that old, even though I don't know. I've always been one of those guys who looks like he's 15. But I'm still starting to get like wrinkles now.
Yeah, I was looking through my hair today when I was getting an x-ray, and I pulled some of it out, just, you know, just going through my hair, and I found like multiple white hairs and multiple gray hairs. And I've always had some gray and white hair, especially when I get stressed, but I never like found, well, maybe that's kind of a lie. I have found that much before, but it was just weird finding that much white hair on my head. It was strange.
Yeah, but you can't really run away from aging. It's one of those things you just kind of gotta accept.
But it's 17 years old. Having that much white hair is quite strange in my eyes.
Yeah, I don't get that either because I think one of my cousins had something like that going on. I don't know what that's about.
My great granddad had a full head of white hair when he was 18. So maybe I just get a little bit of white hair from him? Don't know.
Maybe because I heard that that's kind of hereditary. So that might be.
Maybe
it.
maybe I'll get white hair in my 20s. Who knows? Oh no. White hair star. Here I come.
You look like an anime character.
Oh no, my dream. It's what everyone in the comment section told me to become. I was like Kirito the whole time.
No, you actually have a personality and people like you.
Imagine that. On YouTube in 2019, never me. Oh, but thank you. I appreciate the compliment, even though it was in the veneer of a joke.
Yeah.
They have Payday 2 on Switch?
Oh, they do. I did not know that.
Ooh. They're re-releasing all the great games on
They
there.
need to get this game on the Switch, like, immediately. And then get Marina and Smash. And then make a sequel. But make it like Shantae, make it all like hypersexual, even though the character's like 14.
It's- Whoa, they put Gunslinger Call of Juarez on Nintendo Switch? What the fuck?
I know, they're just going crazy with all these...
They're going crazy with these games. This is kind of amazing, if you ask me.
It really
See, this is what I'm saying. They really do have everything. It's like they're just pumping out these games. Like, where do these come from? Who ports these? Did they make it really easy to develop for or something?
I guess so. Because the Switch hardware isn't all that powerful compared to the other systems.
I thought it was at like PS4 level, or at least almost, because they got Witcher 3 on here and stuff.
Probably, yeah.
And they made the console region free. That's one of the coolest things they did. Isn't this like the first Nintendo system that's region free?
I don't know, wasn't the Wii... No, I think the Wii was region locked.
No, the Wii was region locked, unfortunately.
Yeah. So yeah, I think so.
Whoa! They've got Ghostbusters the video game remastered on Switch coming out.
Oh, nice.
What the?
Yeah, we're getting a lot of good stuff. We're gonna get Doom 64 soon. That one's pretty good. Even though I don't think it was made by id. It was like made by Midway, I think.
Yeah, I did a bad job by investing in a PS4 instead of a Switch.
No, you got Persona 5. You got Spider-Man.
Pers-
You got Death
Persona 5.
Stranding.
Oh
Got
yeah, Death Stranding's on
Boomer
there.
Delivery Man Service Simulator.
Boomer Delivery Man.
You drink
Service.
Monster. I have a feeling that Kojima just like saw that meme and he's like, "All right, this is gonna be in the game now." It doesn't feel like a soulless corporate cash in. It just feels like he saw the Boomer meme and is like, "All right, this is in the game."
No, he saw like the images of the anime characters with Monster Energy drinks.
Oh.
And he goes, oh yes, my nakama yamimasen, and he put it in there immediately. It was amazing. Have you seen those pictures with the anime characters that are holding Monster Energy drinks? It's amazing. It's like like my favorite meme out of
Yeah,
all
I
of the
think I've
memes.
seen a
That is my
few.
favorite. I have like a collection of them. It's amazing. I love like. That one is my favorite out of all of them. I collect those pictures. As soon as I find one that I don't know I have, I get it immediately.
Huh.
Yeah, I don't know why I like Monster Energy drink so
I
much.
don't even like
didn't-
Monster. I think I had
like
it just once in my life, and I was like, no.
Something about the way that they look. Like
The
they're
can
like,
design is nice. That's about
the,
it.
the can design. I will become a capitalist for that can design. No joke. It's just too perfect.
Like I said, this needs to be on the Switch immediately, or some
I
other system. I mean, it's not a great game. It has a lot of flaws, but it's just such a simple game, and it works. It just works.
Perfection in pot. It
As,
just works.
Todd Howard says.
Yeah. I mean, why would you not like something when it just works? No reason. There's this newer game called Astral Chain on the Switch, which has like anime stuff going on.
Yeah, I've seen videos of that.
Yeah, it looks fun.
I
And
might
like
get
it
it.
has almost like a cell shaded look to it.
Yeah, it does.
It's very cool. It's like all the good stuff's coming out on the Switch. PS4 got BTFO'd. I mean, Xbox One got really BTFO'd, but like PS4 got BTFO'd.
Yeah,
And then
I don't know what's up with them. They were doing so well, like the first couple of systems they've made, and then just downhill with the PS4.
Yeah, it's kind of boring. Like you get the major multi-plats on there, and then that's it. Like it's a couple exclusives they have that are cool. Like obviously Death Stranding, very based and red pilled, you know, Monster Energy drink and all that. But like, it doesn't feel like the PS2, and I mean that's kind of a lot to ask. Like the PS2 is the greatest console.
Yeah, you
ever.
got big shoes to fill with that one.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. They could at least make it as good as the PS3. Like the PS3 was pretty great. You know?
Yeah, it didn't have a lot of games, but it had some.
But they've got this Daemon Ex Machina game on the Switch that also looks cel-shaded.
Yes, that game's
And-
fun. It's kind of repetitive, but I like it.
Yeah, Big Macs killing each other, and it's based in red pill.
It was
Red
made
Pill.
by the one of the guys who worked on Armored Core. It's this game by From Software, the Dark Souls guys.
Ooh.
It's pretty good. I've played a little bit of the original. It's really hard too, because you know, From Software, but it's fun.
Yeah.
It's just that the mech controls are kind of janky, but that kind of makes sense because you know it's a mech, so it's not too bad.
Yeah. Makes sense to me.
Oh gosh. And I'm gonna die soon. Well, not in real life, but you never know.
Hmm.
Oh, shoot. I... Oh, you gotta be kidding me. Alright. Oh. See, like, if the throwing mechanics were a little bit better, like if you can, like, you can kind of throw diagonally, but not really. It's kind of tough to get it down.
Hmm.
Alright, I think I got all of them.
See, this game needs a sequel. That's the thing. It needs a sequel with claymation graphics.
Mm-hmm.
Uh,
That would actually look pretty good. Because it has this like pre-rendered Donkey Kong look to it, Donkey Kong Country look to it. And I think that would like work well. Because what was this one game that came out that had a similar look to this? It was called, I think, Neverhood. It's like this claymation kind of style game. And there's this other game that came out not too long ago called Hylix. It was like an RPG maker game. It had like clay model characters. It would be really expensive, and there's no way Treasure Software would be able to fund anything like that because they're like barely a company now. Oh crap, got one more. Oh shoot, here we go again. That's this one. Let's see if I can perfect this. See if my programmer skills. The pro gamer.
pro gamer, pro gamer over here.
Yeah, look at that. Oh no. I really like that one guy who married that that Japanese model. That he met
There's a
in the
lot of
arcade.
them. I too many people to name.
Uh-huh.
I need to become a Christian missionary and then go to South Korea and marry a Korean trad, a traditional Korean Christian woman. I'm gonna do it.
Yes, I'm gonna take Blue Poodle to South Korea. We're gonna be missionaries.
Yes, take me with you.
Okay, I'll take you as my adopted son, I guess. I don't know.
Your adopted son in his like 20s.
Yes, he's almost not that old, not that older than his father. Or not that young as his father. I don't know what I'm saying anymore. This hypothetical just went off the rails.
Yes. Oh wow, there's a new Digimon game coming out on Switch.
Oh
This
yeah,
this becomes more appealing every day.
I know.
There's two Digimon games coming out.
It's just
Wow.
dominating everything.
It's I'm not gonna make that joke. It's everywhere. It's on the marketplace. It's become the marketplace. I am the marketplace.
I'm safe scumming so badly.
I agree. I don't know what that means, but I agree.
I'm basically just reloading the same save. This reminds me of this episode of Oni Place. They played Castlevania, and they basically just did this for the final boss. They just kept reloading the save state, like right when they had the boss at like its lowest health. There we go. It was pretty funny. And I was like, oh man, people are gonna be complaining about this, but I can't really say anything because I've basically done that. I did that for the Tony Hawk Underground playthrough, like for the last part. I don't know if you've noticed. There's this freaking code that keeps appearing on the top left-hand corner of the screen after every cut.
I never noticed, or at least didn't remember. That's pretty based. I appreciate it.
Yeah, I'm just not that good at the games. Even though I don't know, I played it a lot. I'm just not that good. And that part kind of sucks.
Yeah, no, I know that feel, but that's why we have to sit down and keep playing the same levels again and again, like we're on the NES.
Yeah, yeah.
There is this one game that I want to play called Spirit Hunter NG, where it's like it looks very similar to Fatal Frame, if you've ever played those games, you know, where you have
I've
these
heard of those. I never played those. I'm not really a big horror fan.
Oh, I love horror games so much, and horror films. I'm a
I
very,
like
very
the Resident
big
Evil
horror-
games. I wanted to play the Silent Hill games, but I don't know.
I absolutely love horror.
My
It's
life
one
is
of my...
frightening enough as it is, being the person I am.
That was nihilistic to say. Oh,
I don't mean it. I'm joking.
who are you, Woodland Head Puncher?
Oh yeah, that's true. I think his life is pretty much a horror game manifest.
Yeah, I mean, if I were on left Twitter that long, it would certainly become one.
Yeah, it's very Lovecraftian. Just turns you insane.
I never got to play Payday. I want to play it.
Me neither.
Because
It's one of those games you had to get your friends together, I guess, to play it.
Yeah, because I'm pretty sure there's a single player mode, but it's mostly about the online with that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I wanna, I get the Switch version. I'm gonna become a real Japanese man, IRL. You wait. I can be anything. That's what my mom says.
Yes, like I became a white man. I've trained at it.
Theoretically, that is possible.
I'm pretty much at this point.
You
Like-
could, Jax. That's it.
Like I've lost my minority card years ago. I don't feel
My
like
computer
renewing it.
is my computer is out at the moment.
Oh,
Oh, I think you cut out.
yeah. I think my stream died. I don't know what's going on. It has like, it's all green on my end, but I don't know what's actually going on.
One moment.
I'm just enthralled in the story right now.
Okay, for some reason, I have no idea why it did this, but Skype just kicked me off on my computer. They kicked me to the curb. They threw me outdoors with no shirt, no shoes, no money, name, and they weren't very nice. I'll say that.
Yeah, they're tired of all the data mining.
They were tired of all of the racial slurs. I got canceled IRL.
Yeah.
One time I got canceled IRL because this girl at school found my YouTube channel in middle school, and she thought I was weird for liking old games so much because she Googled my name, and then she shared my YouTube channel with everyone at the time, and I was so embarrassed because
Oh
I
my
was the only
gosh.
one who liked old games.
I told one of my old coworkers about my YouTube account, and I don't know. I don't think they liked it all that much when they checked it out, which I don't blame them. But it was interesting, telling
it's
people about it.
interesting experiment to undertake. But yeah, I'm thinking of making a video about that, talking about that experience of when people at school found my YouTube channel, because like I almost had like a panic attack. Like it was really scary for me because I was very embarrassed of my videos.
Me too. Even to this day, I still kind of get like this weird feeling whenever someone brings YouTube up in real life. I'm like, oh, should I talk about my my awful videos to them?
Yeah. I don't really get like that when people just bring YouTube up. It's mostly when like a family member brings YouTube up to someone else and I have to explain it. Because my family knows that I do YouTube, but to what degree and the kind of content I do, it's always kind of a blur. And I have to explain it because like that's how I make money. And so I have to explain, oh yeah, if it comes up, like because like one of them will think it's cool and they'll be like, oh yeah, he makes money doing this, and I'll be like, oh no, I don't want to explain that. And so I have to like try as hard as I can to explain what the hell my videos are to like normies, and I have no idea how to do that. Like my videos are so weird, so I end up just saying, oh yeah, I do vlogs, I guess. And so the conversation ends there. They're saying, "Oh, what do you vlog about?" And then I go, "Well, have I got a story for you?" Oh boy, but yeah,
Yeah.
it's hard.
Certainly is.
It's hard out there for a pimp named Slipback. I'm a pimp named Slickback.
That was such a good show.
It was so good. I was watching Boondocks yesterday.
Yeah, I don't know about them bringing it back, because I have a feeling it's going to turn into a lot of, oh, Trump. Look, Trumpity Trump, Trump, Trump. Oh, hey, Riley, Trumpity Trump, Trump. I mean, I don't care if they make like a few jokes or a few episodes referencing Donald Trump, but I have a feeling it's just going to become the Donald Trump show. Like every other piece of media has been released.
Every single piece of media that comes out that's a comedy and is even like remotely political at all, like even like in the veneer of like people thought BoJack Horseman was going to become a Trump show when they had the season with Mr. Peanut Butter running for governor. Thank God it didn't. Like they really trolled everyone with that. Like it came so close. It came so close in people's eyes to become a Trump show. I remember when that season was coming out. I think it was season 4. I think it was season 4, yeah. But like they were like the only adult cartoon that didn't become a Trump show. Like all of them did.
Like even Rick and Morty is starting to kind of become like that. Like they had the episode where Rick he like died and he kept going into all those different bodies, those different clones, and they're all like fascist dictatorships. So like, oh gee, I wonder what they're referencing. And then at the end, he like goes to like the Wasp planet, and it was basically, oh, I'd rather just eat a bunch of like maggots and stuff than live with fascists or something. I don't know. It was dumb.
Yeah, and I mean that's what they do when they run out of ideas. Like, it's weird. But I didn't like the voice of Grandpa die.
Yeah, he did.
In the Boondocks. Like, how are they? He did.
No, I said he did, but yeah, he did. He dead.
I thought you said he dead. He dead, boy. I thought, wait a minute, why did D become so urban all of a sudden? Did his genetics kick in? No,
yes,
I'm sorry.
Of course. I have my moments of like Hood for like 5 seconds. It like comes out like it's like an anime power. It just comes out conveniently.
It's like Vegeta.
Yeah, it's like when Vegeta went super. It kind of is like that, you know. Going back to Dragon Ball Z because I'm a black man. It's Super Saiyan really is just like, I guess, being ghetto in a way.
Your power level shows every now and again when you talk with a black accent.
It's more like, I guess, when Gohan went Super Saiyan because he's like the quiet one, and he just like loses it. Oh my gosh, I've killed him. No.
Oh no, I've resuscitated myself. But yeah, but I really hope that he's alive. Or wait, what? I hope he's in a good place. What am I saying? I hope he's in a good place now.
Yeah, me too.
But like I really like. How are they gonna do a show without Grandpa?
I guess either kill him off in the show or give him a sound-alike.
How are they gonna find a guy who sounds like Grandpa? I don't think, like, who was the guy? It was Charlie Murphy, right? Charlie Murphy voiced him?
No, else? It wasn't Charlie Murphy. It was I can't remember his name. I'll have to like look it up. But yeah, it was like he was in Friday.
Friday. Let me find the
Ice Cube movie. See, I'm Hood. Kinda, not really.
I'm Hood. Let's see.
He was like the old guy in that movie.
John Witherspoon.
Yeah, John Witherspoon.
Yeah. Let's see. It says he was on the Tracy Morgan Show, Boomerang, The 5 Heartbeats, Barnaby Jones, Vampire in Brooklyn. This is a lot of black stuff. Hollywood Shuffle. I don't know any of these shows. Yeah, and it says he died October 29th, 2019.
Yeah, this month, or not this month, but previous month.
Yeah, so they might have recorded. They might have recorded the episodes of the Boondocks. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, maybe they like they'll have like an episode where he like retire. I don't know. He wasn't employed, but he goes away somewhere. He just never comes back.
He was in Blackish. He was in Anger Management.
Oh yeah, he was.
He was in. He guest starred in BoJack Horseman as Franco Alpinti in the episode Surprise. Huh. I don't remember. This might be an episode I haven't seen. It's
Yeah,
Surprise.
it's probably maybe a newer season because I haven't watched like since the 3rd season, so I don't know.
Yeah, I caught up to season 5, so I think because they're ending the show this year.
Oh, they are. Huh.
Yes.
So I guess I'll be able to binge watch them.
Oh yeah, it says Surprise. It came out October 25th, 2019. Yeah, so so this is a new episode of season 6. Okay, so 4 episodes of season 6 have come out or something. Wait, how many episodes of now I'm looking at this, but yeah, so he the last appearance he had was in an episode of BoJack Horseman. I guess if you're gonna go out, that's a pretty strong way to go out, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, it says that 8 episodes of season 6 came out, and then the final episode is going to be released January 31st, 2020. That'll be the last episode. Oh boy. It's so sad that BoJack Horseman is ending. That's my favorite show.
Yeah, that was a good show. I don't want to be like that whole, oh, this is better than that, but I kind of feel like it's much better than really anything that's been out in the last couple of years.
Yeah. It's so much heart. There's so much heart in it. That's the thing, is that it really does feel real. I hope with this new Boondocks that's coming out that Aaron McGruder is involved. I don't know what he's doing these days. Have they actually like announced new Boondocks?
I don't know if they've announced like when it's coming out. I just know that it's been announced. So
Let's see here.
I don't know.
Uncle Ruckus of the Boondocks was replaced with a photo of Kanye West in a MAGA hat. What? Oh no.
What?
Oh wait, no, it was just a weird meme thing. Okay.
Oh, okay. I was like,
I
oh no.
Trump, Trumpity, Trump.
Oh, I hate this so much. I hate everything. I'm becoming cynical now. Help me.
You're becoming a boomer. I will resuscitate you with playing Terraria and
Monster
Minecraft
energy drink.
and Monster Energy drink. Yes. And you know, interestingly, I think Joker was one of the best movies that came out in a while as well.
Yeah,
Did
Joker
you
was
see it?
good. I saw it like a month ago.
I saw it in theaters a little bit after it came out, a month ago as well. It was really, I liked it a lot. It was a very emotionally gripping film, kind of reminded me of Martin Scorsese movies a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
everyone's
Taxi
comparing
Driver?
it to Taxi Driver. I've actually never really seen Taxi Driver. I wanted to.
Ooh, you really should. It's one of the best movies ever made. Definitely better than Joker, but
Yeah, I've heard
yeah,
it was like considered like I guess a Taxi Driver light or something. That's what a lot of people were saying.
yeah, it's very weird that Joker is the first R-rated film to make $1 billion. Like the only other R-rated film that made like anywhere close to that was Deadpool, and it made 800 million, but it was like 810 million or something. And then Joker like is up here. They're number one R-rated movie, $1 billion. So, people thought you couldn't do it, and now I feel like a bunch of R-rated movies are gonna come out because of this.
Oh yeah, definitely. 'Cause
Wait a minute.
Deadpool did
Okay,
good.
so I'm looking at this right here. Actually, Deadpool made 782 million, and then Deadpool 2 made 785 million, and then Joker like went way across both of those with 1 billion. So it's pretty based. You've got The Passion of Christ up here at a solid number 6 with $622 million. I've never seen this movie. Have you?
I've seen a bit of it. It's not that bad. It's not really that great. There was this other like movie that's coming out. I don't know if it's already came out. It's like a actually I think it's a miniseries. It's I can't remember the name, but it's kind of like just like the story of Jesus Christ. It seems pretty interesting.
Oh, Ted is up here at number 11. I remember Ted.
Yeah, I've seen Ted. It was okay, I guess.
Seth MacFarlane directing a movie.
Hey, Lois. Remember that time I was a teddy bear? That was a really bad Peter. Hey,
that was actually
hey,
a really good impression. That was a good impression.
I guess. It's my whiteness.
You did it. We did it, Reddit. I'm acting like you're a toddler. You did it. Woo! I don't know. I thought Ted was an okay movie.
Yeah,
I probably
okay.
wouldn't like it much now, though.
I haven't seen the second one. From what I've heard, it's just more of the same.
My history teacher was a really big fan of Troy. He liked Troy a lot.
Troy.
Yeah, the film Troy, about the fall of Troy, you know, and no one listened to, what was her name, Elizabeth, when they said Troy would fall. Cassandra, yeah, and none of you listened to Cassandra, and none of you listened to me. Yeah, Troy, pretty based. No one listened to Cassandra, my favorite girl. Was she even in the movie?
I don't know. I've never seen it. I've heard of it vaguely, but I don't think
Yeah, the fall of Troy. They said there was going to be like a Trojan horse or something. I don't know shit about the Iliad, but
I vaguely remember it from like when I was in high school.
yeah, it's been a very long time. I read the Iliad in like 9th grade. Even though I hadn't read the Odyssey, the Odyssey comes first, but they didn't make you read the Odyssey first. They made you read the Iliad. It was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. High school reading.
Yeah, high school reading gave me an Oedipus complex. It's like a pan pizza joke.
That's a pretty good one.
American Sniper, my favorite film.
Actually, I've never seen that movie, so I wouldn't know. I heard that a lot of people were getting upset over it, but you know what aren't people upset over nowadays?
I think people were worthy of getting upset over it because it was basically saying that like torture was good.
Oh,
like,
yeah, I think I heard something like that. But I've never really seen it, so I wouldn't know.
Yeah, it's a Clint Eastwood movie. He wrote and directed it, and that was kind of when Clint Eastwood was getting kind of insane, like talking in front of chairs and stuff. Like he's gone off his rock a little bit nowadays, even though he's made really good movies in the past, like Gone with the Wind and A Fistful of Dollars, but you know, Dirty Harry and all that. But nowadays he's kind of, I don't know, it's like some kind of dementia is going on. I don't know what happened to him.
Yeah, he's probably just getting old.
He made that movie J. Edgar, which was about the Martin Luther King. Wait, no, it was about was it about the Palmer raids or something? I don't remember. I've
heard of that. Once again, I haven't seen. I've had a lot of movies I haven't seen.
Like, I remember that movie being basically about the reason that Martin Luther King was blackmailed by J. Edgar was because this gay guy wanted to do it, and like the movie was about how this gay guy wanted to assassinate MLK because he was gay, and it was weird. Like
I've never heard anything about that.
Yeah, that was I'm just going off of this very like rudimentary memory of the movie. Like, I saw this movie like 8 years ago, and so it's a Leonardo DiCaprio film, you know, it's his big stars. It's kind of like do you remember JFK, the movie JFK? That was really long, about JFK getting assassinated. It was kind of like that, like that movie was a little bit conspiratorial in a way. It was the Oliver Stone film. Um, uh, yeah, it kind of had this like old conspiracy theory vibe to it, but I don't even remember much of J. Edgar.
Mm.
But it was directed by Clint Eastwood. Decent movie. Have you seen American Made with what's his name? Tom Cruise?
American Made? No.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's probably one of the best Tom Cruise movies that's come out in a while. It's about like the US government in Nicaragua kind of like funding terrorists there and stuff and doing this
Mm-hmm.
stuff with Contras.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was like when I first saw it come out, I thought it was like a Trump movie because it had like all this stuff about Bill Clinton in it and stuff, but
When did it come
it
out?
was just let's see here. I believe it was only like a couple years ago.
Huh.
American-made Tom Cruise. Let me look this. Let me look this up. Yeah, it was 2017.
Hmm.
Like I thought it was like a Trump movie at first, but it was about like the Clinton and Reagan White House and about like arming the Contras and stuff. It was a cool movie. Um, I want to watch Eyes Wide Shut. You know the movie with the orgy in it?
Yeah, I've heard of that one.
Yeah, it was Stanley Kubrick's last movie, but that's also that
Mm-hmm.
also had Tom Cruise in it. Mm.
Oh, well, I definitely got to do that 3x3 about the movies. I might have some stuff you've seen, and I might have some stuff you haven't seen. It'll be interesting.
So
Hopefully.
many good movies to watch.
I know.
So many. Hmm. Kind of amazing. Like that's what I say is that there's so much media to consume that you can just never run out of it.
Yeah. It's both a blessing and a curse.
Yeah. Mm. Well, I think I'm going to head out now. This
Yeah.
was a very fun live stream to do.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, we covered so many topics. It's kind of
Mhm.
nice to have these topics like build up over time. It felt like a grand comeback. Hopefully, we can get Dragon King Mark back and do a D-pad rides again or something.
Yeah, definitely.
Mhm. Well, thank you for putting up with my antics. I will see you next time.
All right, I'll see you later, man.
Good night.
Night. All right, and I'm gonna end this off right here. Yeah, it was really fun. Well, I'll see you guys later for all the people watching this after it's over.